Welcome to the Alex Auto YouTube Live. All right, we have a very important topic to talk about today. Okay, so welcome back, guys. I'm gonna get right into it because there's a big misconception out there. Okay, and we have to debunk all of that. You know that I have to do that because a lot of people in this car rental space are simply teaching the wrong thing. Okay, they're leading people astray, putting people in debt. And on this channel, I'm here to teach you guys about the private car rental industry. Okay, so we're not going to be relying on Turo. And today we'll talk about why we don't rely on Turo, why you shouldn't be relying on Turo. And I'll show you some real life examples, right? We're gonna watch some real life videos of actual hosts. Okay, these aren't little hosts, like big hosts. All right, that got removed from Turo, right? They had 100+ cars, and you guys will be able to see all of this in real time. Okay, it's very important that I drive home this idea into my audience. Turo isn't really the place that you want to be, right? And when it comes to starting a car rental business, the very last thing you want to do is put yourself in a bunch of debt. That's like the very last thing you want to do. All right. So instead of that, what you should be doing is using cash cars. Okay. This topic, today's live, will mainly be about cash cars. All right. Cool. So without any delay, let's get right into it. Now, why do I talk about cash cars so much? All right. So when you're starting any business, it is very important that the very first thing you do is reduce the amount of money that you can lose up front. All right. A lot of people try a lot of different businesses. I've tried a lot of different businesses before I found success in this one. And if I put myself into 4 or 5 years of debt in each business that I wanted to try, well, guess what would happen? I would be bankrupt. I would have no money, and I wouldn't be able to try very many businesses, would I? So instead of that, what I encourage you guys to do is to give yourself cash cars. Why cash cars? Well, first of all, there's no monthly note. Okay, so you have a lot less pressure. Second of all, your insurance is going to be like dirt cheap. You have practically no insurance. And dirt cheap insurance is good. Okay, so you have a wider range of profit margin of your money that you're going to keep, and that's what you want. So that's the two main advantages of cash cars. But the most important thing with the cash cars is that if you make a mistake, which it is inevitable, you are going to make mistakes, that you don't cost yourself 5 years of financing. Like, it is crazy to me that people out there are teaching you guys to go finance cars. Okay. So I want to talk about that. We're gonna watch some videos on Instagram. I want to show you guys a few things, and then we can go from there. All right, cool. So give me 1 second here. I'm gonna share my screen, and then we're gonna get right into it. Let's get it. So this is the first video here. Let me see. Blah blah blah. Okay, I need my oh, there it is. Cool. There I am. All right, cool. So let's watch this video. Let's get it.
And starting with cars that cost $3,000 to $5,000
Let me know if you guys can
to
hear the
start your
sound.
car rental business. I see it on Instagram all day, but it's not my recommendation for many reasons. The first being that usually when something happens in those cars, it's high ticket items like the engine, transmission, catalytic.
Okay, so basically she's saying she doesn't recommend starting with cash cars, right? And then she's giving her very different reasons to that. All right, so she's saying that the very first thing is when things go wrong in those cars, it's high ticket items. All right. Now obviously shout out to her. She's speaking from her perspective. And obviously she's found success in the way she's doing business. But we're going to break down, and we know on this channel why this may not be the best idea. Okay, so let's keep watching.
converter. So now you're spending another 3 to 5,000 on top of what was supposed to be a cheap purchase. Then a lot of these titles are branded, and you cannot commercially insure a branded title. So if they're rebuilt, salvaged, even if it's a good car, you can't commercially insure them. So you're forced to keep them on your personal policy. It's a law that protects car rental companies from being sued only if you could prove that you've been maintaining your vehicle. And that's going to be very hard to prove that you've been maintaining a car you bought from Facebook Marketplace with 140,000 miles on it and 3 owners. So I recommend playing a longer game, and you won't see your money at first, but you'll see your money longer. So you're gonna finance a car if you have to. If you can't buy a car outright for $18,000, $20,000, finance the car. But
Okay, so the very first problem there is her solution. Now she highlighted a few problems, which okay, reasonable, right? If it's somebody that's coming completely new into the business, those are reasonable problems to highlight. But the solution that she's given doesn't really make sense, at least to me, right? And to the business model that I teach. So I'm gonna keep playing the video, but I want you guys to really listen, right? That way you guys can judge for yourself. Obviously, she's found success. I think she does exotic car rentals in like New York and LA. So she's not really familiar with the economy car space, but this is what she's recommending in the economy car space.
make nothing for the first year. Make sure your bank has no prepaid loan penalties and pay off the car within a year. We're going to use a 2023 Honda Accord, for example. Those are going for about $17,000, $18,000 right now. You finance the car, you pay it off within a year. Those rent for about $90 a day, $2,700 a month. You pay off the car within a year. Then after that, that car's going to last you. You could keep it in your fleet for another 5-6 years. Everything after that is profits. Then when you go to sell that car, you'll get $3,000 to $5,000 for it, and you rinse and repeat. Yes, you're not getting the money instantly, but I'd rather know that I'm not making nothing today and I'm going to make something for the next 2 years rather than make something quick today and have a headache every day, getting called out my sleep because a car is breaking down, being sued, or not seeing my profits how I should see them because the car is not reliable. I know so many people have success stories with it, but I don't recommend it.
Okay, cool. So that was the entire video. We're gonna break it down. So she's saying she doesn't recommend starting with cars that cost $3,000 to $5,000. All right, and then her very first reason is she's saying that the first things that go wrong is high ticket items. All right, which is engine, transmission, and she claims it's gonna cost another $3,000 to replace. So let's assume that her claim is true. So if you buy a car for $5,000, and even if the highest ticket item is the engine, transmission, and you replace it for $3,000. You're still all in $8,000. That's still much better than starting and buying a brand new car at $17,000, $18,000. Okay, so that's number one. And the solution to that, to make sure that you don't buy cars that can have bad transmission and engines, is to just simply take a mobile mechanic with you. Okay, that's really that simple. You take a mobile mechanic with you. The first thing that they're gonna check is the engine and transmission. Okay, so if you can do that, and it's gonna cost you like $75 to $100, it's not gonna cost you more than that. So if you can do that, you've pretty much beaten her first reason. All right, but
I do not recommend starting with cars that cost $3,000 to $5,000 to start your car rental business. I see it on Instagram all day, but it's not my recommendation for many reasons. The first being that usually when something happens in those cars, it's high ticket items like the engine, transmission, catalytic converter. So now you're spending another $3,000 to $5,000 on top of what was supposed to be a cheap purchase. Then a lot of these titles are
okay. So she's talking about branded titles. Guys, how easy is it to just check the VIN of a car? Like, how easy is it? You guys let me know in the comments. How easy is it to just check the title of a car? Now, she is right. If the title is salvage, it's going to be very difficult to get insurance. She is right 100% about that. But if it's a clean title, and you can check a clean title within seconds with a Carfax report, all right, with a auto check report, okay? So, again, it's a very simple solution to that problem that she stated.
Are branded, and you cannot commercially insure a branded title. So if they're rebuilt, salvaged, even if it's a good car, you can't commercially insure them. So you're forced to keep them on your personal policy. It's a law that protects car rental companies from being sued only if you could prove that you've been maintaining your vehicle. And that's going to be very hard to prove that you've been maintaining a car you bought from Facebook Marketplace with 140,000 miles on it and 3 owners.
It is not going to be very hard to prove that. So the law she's talking about is called the Graves Amendment, and the Graves Amendment is actually quite simple. Okay, It prevents car rental companies from being sued, right, or being held liable for what happens when the renter has the vehicle or the renter is driving the vehicle. Now, the caveat to that is that obviously you can pierce the Graves Amendment if the car rental company is found negligent, right, in maintaining the vehicle. Now, the negligence has to be a direct result of the accident, and you guys will see the Graves Amendment right here. Right, you guys will see the Graves Amendment right here, and as you can see, an owner of a motor vehicle that rents or leases the vehicle to a person shall not be held liable by any state political division by reason of being the owner of the vehicle. So this doesn't even just apply to car rental companies. A lot of you guys get nervous. You're like, oh, should I register it in my business name? Should I register it in my business name? And it's like, it doesn't matter. Okay, the Graves Amendment will still protect you as long as you have a car rental agreement. Okay. Now, if you continue listening, it says, for harm to person or property that results or arises out of use, operation, or possession of the vehicle. Okay. Now, here's the two clauses, right? The owner is engaged in trade or business of renting or leasing the vehicle, right? So this is when it kicks in. And there is no negligence or criminal wrongdoing on the part of the owner. Okay. So negligence and criminal wrongdoing is the exception. All right. So you can prove that you're maintaining a 2014 Honda Civic with 3 owners and 140,000 miles. That's like most of the cars that are on the road. Okay. Most of the cars that are on the road are not brand new cars. Most of the cars on the road are 10 to 15-year-old cars with 100,000 plus miles on them. Okay. So she's completely wrong about that. It's not going to be hard at all to prove that. But let's keep watching.
So I recommend playing a longer game, and you won't see your money at first, but you'll see your money longer. So you're going to finance a car if you have to. If you can't buy a car outright for $18,000, $20,000, finance the car, but make nothing for the first year.
Okay. Obviously, this is like a pretty crazy claim to buy and this is not outside of just even car rentals. Okay. Like, never spend that much money on a regular economy car. Like, don't do it. Like, outside of car rentals, that doesn't even make any sense. All right. Sorry, give me 1 second here. That doesn't even make any sense. Why would you spend $18,000 on a Honda 2022, 2023, 2024 Honda Accord or whatever she's saying, and make nothing for the first year because you're making the payment? Now, this is assuming your car isn't going to get damaged. Your car isn't going to go in the shop. Your car isn't going to be down for a month or two. Like, so then what happens then? What happens? You're still on the hook for the car note, and your car is in the shop for a couple of months. So it doesn't work out so well then, does it? Right. This is assuming everything goes well. And in her best case scenario, you don't make any money the first year. That's pretty crazy. In my opinion, the entire purpose of starting a business is to make money. But let's keep watching.
Make sure your bank has no prepaid loan penalties and pay off the car within a year. We're going to use a 2023 Honda Accord, for example. Those are going for about $17,000, $18,000 right now. You finance the car, you pay it off within a year. Those rent for about $90 a day, $2,700 a month. You pay off the car within a year. Then after that car's going to last you. You could keep it in your...
Okay, so she also made another claim there that it's $90 a day, $2,700 a month. So even if you put the car up for $90 a day, it's going to be very hard to consistently make $2,700 a month. It's going to be damn near impossible. All right. And so I'm assuming she's probably talking about something like Toro or doing daily rentals. So that's also another issue there.
Your fleet for another 5-6 years. Everything after that is profits. Then when you go to sell that car, you'll get $3,000 to $5,000 for it, and you rinse and repeat. Yes, you're not getting the money instantly.
Okay, so that's basically her claim. All right. Obviously, I don't agree with this. There's a lot of issues with that. It makes much more sense to buy your cars cheaper. You make similar amount of money, right, with a cheaper car, and with our private car rental business model, you make money consistently. You make your money back in 2 to 3 months instead of a year. No, actually, is it even a year? Because you're paying off the car note. So it might take you 2 years to make the money that you finance technically back. So yeah, obviously, this isn't my favorite advice. And I want to show you guys the consequence of following what she's telling you. Because there was another video I saw, which is pretty funny. It's literally the direct consequence, okay? And there's one thing I didn't talk about, which this video is going to talk about, because everybody forgets that if you finance a car and you're renting out a finance car, there's something called depreciation, okay? And depreciation will kill you with finance cars. All right. So if you go buy a 2023 Honda Accord for $17,000, after that 1 year, it would have probably already depreciated to $10,000. You've lost $7,000. Even if you make $27,000, you've only just recouped the amount of money you put in before now you're going into profit, and that's assuming everything goes correctly. So we're gonna watch this video and we're gonna see what happens when you go finance cars and rent them out.
We have a Legacy Motor Cars about still?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, so I'm calling about your 9 vehicles that you're trying to get rid of. You have a 2023 Ford Bronco, 2023 Kia Forte, 2023 Kia Soul, 2023 Kia Forte, 2022 Ford Mustang, 2018 Mercedes 300, 2022 Black Honda Accord, 2022 Honda Accord Sport. Woo, that's a lot of cars. So tell me what you got going on.
Yeah. Well, I had purchased these cars a year ago, 2023, and I put it on Turo. I'm here in California. After 3 months, I was like, this is not for me. So I want to deal with headache. You know, so I just want to get out of them. I wanted someone who wants to either take over the payments, buy them out for the remaining amount that's...
Typically for the advice, I direct people to the link in my bio where they book a time with me and I can consult with them anything related with their vehicle, whether they're in a bad situation, whether they got negative equity, whether they're trying to negotiate a car. But since we're on the phone, it's all good. So vehicles are still being rented or they're not being rented?
They are rented. Okay. Some of them...
About, what, $8,000 a month on all these cars, right, that you spend with insurance and everything?
That is exactly the budget that I set.
Did you make good money when you rented these out or not really?
Honest with you, I broke even enough to pay the car payment.
But with all the vehicles that you have rented out right now, to get out of all of them, you're about $91,000 in negative equity. Do you have any money at all, or?
I got $20K. If I can get rid of all of them vehicles, I give up $20,000. I take a loss.
All right, $20,000. So to be honest with you, that is not realistic. Well, hey, how are you?
So there you have it. That's what happens when you go finance cars and try to rent them out. You end up with a whole bunch of negative equity, and you just simply won't make enough revenue consistently on Turo to be able to even pay off that car, right? Pay off the cars in a year. Because you heard her. She bought those cars last year, and she was barely making the monthly payments. Okay, so it's very, very important, right? This is something that I'm showing you guys. It's very, very important that you do this the right way. You do this the way I am telling you, because if you don't, you end up in situations like that. That's a real life situation, right? Of going to finance a Honda Accord for $17,000. And she wasn't even financing Accord. She was just financing like Broncos or whatever, Ford Broncos, and those like mid-tier, like semi-luxury cars. Those are the worst type of cars. Stay away from those cars. Those are not car rental business cars. A lot of people want to get like the Acuras and the Lexus and the BMWs, right? Like even Mercedes Benz is okay. Like people like those, so they will rent them out. But everything like in that mid luxury tier, stay far away from those cars because they're not gonna be consistent enough. Like when we're talking about cars, right? We're talking about a business. It's simply supply and demand. Okay, that's all a business is. It's supply and demand. So when we're looking at cars, what cars are people driving the most? Those will be where the demand is, and that's economy cars. Okay. Most people drive economy cars. If you go outside and you go on the road today, you're gonna see a whole bunch of economy cars. All right. My guy said, I don't know why. I mean, she, and credit to her, right? She makes content. She makes money in the space. She's in the space, right? No animosity. But I don't think she's familiar. At least from her content that I've seen, I don't think she's familiar with the economy car game. I think she's more into the luxury stuff, like the exotics, right? And she's in a very niche market. She's in like New York and LA, which is where if you wanted to do exotics, those would be the cities, right? New York, LA, Miami, right? those type cities, right? Those type cities, that are highly traveled, right? A lot of tourists that you can do exotics there. But when it comes to the economy cars, right, that is definitely not the way to do it. And that's completely fine, right? So it is what it is. I just wanted you guys to see that for yourselves. That way you kind of understand why when I tell you that, hey, it's important that you buy your cars the right way. It's very important. Otherwise, you end up like my lady here with 91K in negative equity, financing 9 cars for Turo. And that 91K negative equity came within a year. That's very real. Because you have to remember, if you're financing a car and you're giving people your car they're paying you to rent that car, they're gonna drive them. They're gonna drive the hell out of them. That's the entire point of why somebody will come and pay you money for your car. So you have to always factor in depreciation. All right. So when we're talking about the economy cars, the cash cars, we're buying cars that are already depreciated. That's why they're so cheap. Like, even if you buy a Toyota Corolla with 175,000 miles on it, and for $5,000, and you rent it out for a year and you sell it you'll probably get about $5,000. Even if you put another 50 to 60,000 miles on it, another 70,000 miles on it, it's not gonna go down much longer than that. It's not gonna go down much more than that. So buying the cars fully depreciated is part of the play. It's part of the game. Okay, it's part of it. And then if you lose that car, you lose $5,000 as opposed to $17,000, $18,000. All right. So that's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you buy your cars the right way. Okay. Now I want to show you guys, because I talk a lot about Turo on this channel, and I have a very lovely video, right, with one of the biggest Turo hosts in New York. Okay. If this happened to this guy, we're all cooked. I'm telling you. So I'm going to show you guys the video, and then we can watch it, and then feel free to drop your comment. I'll do rolling comments, right? So feel free to drop your comments in the chat. But let's get it.
Turo is shutting down in New York, and they're charging a $500 trip fee for.
Actually, hold on. This is the wrong video. So I'm gonna switch to this video.
We had 6,000 trips before. They freaking erased us. All our cars are freaking unlisted. 125 cars. They're trying to get us to park 125 freaking cars right now. We have capacity for 15% of our inventory. Look at our freaking cars, dude. Everything is parked. Look, no one's giving us anything. We reach out to Turo support, to our account manager, to executive support. They don't even send you a freaking email. I've been playing their rules. I've been playing their freaking game, and they treat you like you're garbage. You know what I found out? It's because we are filing too many smoking violations. It's a freaking load of horseshit, bro. What are we supposed to do? Just let people disrespect our cars and smoke in our cars? If we have the evidence, what do they want us to do? I don't get it. Look at this. Guys, right now our whole fleet is for sale. All the good things I said about Turo, all the people that I put onto Turo, I take it back. I'm sorry. I feel like I let everybody down. These people don't know how to do business. You could tell it's just a bunch of techie nerds that created an app, and that's it. I think I'm making too much money off Turo, and they don't like that. They don't want one of their hosts capitalizing off their own rules, not doing anything illegal, not doing anything wrong. They're literally messing with the livelihood of me, my employees, renters, their own freaking guests that are on the application. Do yourself justice. Get off this freaking app. Turo, I hope you crash and burn. You're hurting people. You guys only care about yourselves, and it's really sad to see because the host built you guys. Without the host, you would literally be non-existent. I hope it's worth it for you. I'm going to take my 125 cars somewhere else. Good luck.
Guys, 125 cars. I'm telling you, if this dude got kicked off Turo with 125 cars, all you guys on Turo are cooked. You're cooked, okay? So you need to understand why I so heavily push you guys getting off Turo, all right? It's very important. If you don't get off this app, right, and you wait and you wait and you wait until you get kicked off and you rely on that money, and that's the money that feeds your family, your employees, okay? You're cooked, all right? And I don't want any of you guys in that situation. So just make sure that as you're building your car rental business, that you keep in mind that if you want to scale, you want to be able to hold private rentals at some point. You want to be able to hold private rentals at some point. And if you're looking to start your private car rental business, just hit me up. All right. Make sure to hit me up, send me a DM, leave a comment, and I got you. All right. But anyway, this dude here, Alex Saliba, 125 cars, and he ended up off of Turo. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the lessons that I wanted to show you today. I showed you I showed real life lessons. Okay. So I'm not just sitting here talking. All right. I've been doing a lot of talking, and I thought it would be more impactful to show you guys for yourself what's happening in real time. Okay, this is what's happening in real time when people are financing cars instead of buying cars the right way, buying the wrong cars, ending up with a whole bunch of negative equity that you can never get out of. Negative equity is one of those things that is damn near impossible to get out of. Okay, once you're in it, you're cooked. And I don't want you guys in that situation where you're going to be cooked. And it's financing is 4 or 5 years, 5 goddamn years. That's a long, long time. Okay, so that's the live for today. I appreciate you guys for joining. It was a great one. It was lovely. If you guys found value in it, just make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is Alex Otto, and we out.